Today, we have another interview in action from the conferences that just happened down here in Miami and Orlando. My name is Bill Russell. I'm a former CIO for a 16-hospital system and creator of This Week Health, a set of channels dedicated to keeping health IT staff current and engaged. We want to thank our show sponsors who are investing in developing the next generation of health leaders: Gordian Dynamics, Quill Health, Tausight, Nuance, Canon Medical, and Current Health. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. Here we go. All right, here we are from ViVE 2022, and we're here with Terry Myerson with Truveta. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well.
I'm looking forward to this conversation. Truveta is really fascinating to me. It represents an awful lot of potential. I think is what I want to say.
I think so too.
I mean, the number of health systems you have in, I wish I could rattle them all off, but it's like all the players. I mean, it's Advocate Aurora, it's Providence, it's one of the St. Luke's. I mean, there's St. Luke's everywhere. I don't know which one it is. Maybe Idaho or
Missouri.
Missouri, or St. Luke's, Missouri, Bon Secours, Mercy, and so forth. I mean, it represents how many health systems at this point?
We've announced 20 health systems, and together they provide about 16% of the clinical care every day in the United States.
All right, so Truveta is bringing that data set together. What does this look like? Where are you going with it, and what are you showing off here at ViVE?
Well, today at ViVE we showed is our first public demonstration of the platform and what you can do with it. And what we did on stage is we showed how a clinical study that was looking at the effectiveness of COVID vaccine boosters that was originally done in November. The CDC took a couple months later and produced the same study with the same statistical results a couple months later, but we ran it in November, and we basically reproduced the study with updated data through the Omicron wave and showed how the effectiveness of boosters varied with different comorbidities, and we're publishing that and showing how it's reproducible and transparent on the platform. So, I mean, the whole thing was just to show this is alive. This is now a data platform which you can use to study, ask and answer questions about America health every day.
How many patient records does that represent at this point?
Live on the platform today, 50 million.
50 million, okay. So
it gets updated every day as new patients visit our health systems and new health systems grow. But for research on every disease, any device, 50 million patients live today.
I mean, I think that one of the things that's powerful is these health systems are going to be feeding this information. I don't know if it's real time, but it's going to be feeding it
every day.
Every day. So, so there are real-time connectors connected up to this thing.
Yeah.
You're de-identifying the data. It's primarily for research, right?
That's what it's to be used for. We say for ethical purposes. So it's no sales and marketing. It's all about improving patient care.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's all right. So the data's going to. You're going to be able to do these kind of studies before the CDC does, because when we think about the data chain of getting the data into the CDC,
I don't know how the CDC does their studies. One of the things we're really motivated by is providing, a platform that not only has representation of the diversity of the country, but also allows studies to be fully transparent and reproducible, because we think that will build trust in clinical studies. That will help, when the CDC publishes a finding, we don't know how they did it. We can't reproduce it. We don't, and then so, but when studies get done in Truveta, we want to empower researchers to build trust in their findings by being transparent in new ways.
So are you looking for, or do you have partnerships with academic medical centers? Those are the people doing the research? Is pharma doing research? Who's all doing research on the platform at this
So researchers on the platform today are the health systems that are members of Truveta. They have academic affiliations,
right?
Whether it be Washington State and Providence, or Michigan State and Henry Ford, or there are academic affiliations with the health systems that are members of Truveta. And then there are a few pharmaceutical companies right now doing research on the platform also. We just haven't announced that yet.
Haven't announced it yet. And so this is not a pre-announcement of any kind. So that's a direction you guys are heading. What's the 5 years from now, what are we looking at here? Are we looking at more health systems, more research being done, more partners?
I think so, yeah. And we're welcoming the pharmaceutical industry to do research on the platform. I think, one of my learnings, and that got me involved with Truveta from the beginning of the pandemic, is that these life science partners, they have a real need to understand, how their products are safe, effective, to make better products every day. And this is the data they need to do that. And those are the cures that we depend on in healthcare to treat patients. And so we think it's very exciting to be partnering with life science companies to go improve their products and making the data available to them.
So talk to me about governance, because this is we're going to be talking to healthcare providers, primary listeners of this, and they're going to say, all right, this looks interesting. I'm interested in this. Does each health system participate in the governance model and look at the architecture, the security model, the privacy model? Obviously, all these things are important to these health systems that are partners.
Yes.
How does that model work?
Well, we take the governance very seriously. It's actually one of the funnier things at the beginning of Truveta when it was founded was Rod Hockman, the CEO of Providence, joked that one of the hardest things about my job was going to be having 12 health system CEOs as bosses. But I think it's the right thing because you have to do this right. Patients trust their doctors, and we can't make any compromises, with the integrity of that patient. Even though the data is all de-identified, we have to do this right. So we have a board of directors, which is all health systems, and we have a board of governors that provide strategic guidance across the board on security, privacy, ethics, health equity, that health systems have opted into participation in the areas where they are most passionate about participating, and there's some areas where they go, all right, I'll trust my colleagues, other health systems to govern Truveta in that area, but I'm going to invest the time so it's all documented on our website. We're trying to be very transparent about how the governance works.
Yeah, that would make sense. How, when I think about this, is it just EHR data, or are we looking at other data sets as well?
Today it's primarily EHR data.
Okay. And the connectors we're utilizing it, are those, HL7, FHIR, that kind of stuff, or are we looking at direct connectors into these platforms is what we're looking?
We'll take the data
I'm trying to get the order of magnitude. So when my CEO comes to me and says, hey, we signed a deal, we're going to be a part of this, as a IT organization, I'm sitting there going, all right, what did we just sign up for? What do I have to, what's
I think what I would encourage folks to do is talk to other members and ask them how they're doing it. But our general approach is we'll take the data however, the actual structure of the file format, that's the least of our challenges. Once we normalize the data,
so just ship it over the...
shipping a Parquet file, putting it on a secure FTP site, that works for us.
Fantastic. Raw data, are you normalizing the data at all? Research is tough.
Well, we do that. So we take the raw data from the health system, whether it comes from Meditech, Allscripts, Cerner, Epic, whatever it may be, and then, we're then not only syntactically normalizing it to a common structure, but we're also working through all the semantic normalization of, however a clinician would have captured information about a medication or a diagnosis or a lab test, or have captured the symptoms or the treatment plan in the clinical note. We're doing all the work to turn that into structured, useful information for research.
All right, so you came from Microsoft?
I did.
Came from Microsoft, now working in the healthcare industry. As you came in, what's the thing you notice or that you see? I came in from outside of healthcare. You have that different lens for a little while until then you become an insider as well. So what's your lens? What do you see?
I feel like I joined, what brought Truveta together and what brought me to Truveta was the pandemic. So I feel like I am in a very fortunate place where Truveta it's a coalition of the willing. It's a group of health systems that share this vision of saving lives with data, knowing they can make a difference in the world by bringing their data together. They can treat patients better and find new insights that will find cures. And so with that sort of moral imperative and coalition, I just feel this momentum and interest in making things happen.
Yeah.
And so some of the things I hear about health systems, about healthcare being slow, and I haven't experienced that.
Yeah, you came in during the middle of the pandemic. So, and healthcare hasn't moved faster than it has over the last 2 years.
Truveta was born out of this pandemic. My involvement with Truveta, was inspired by this pandemic. And so I feel it's incredibly fortunate that the health systems that are involved in Truveta want to be in Truveta.
Oh, absolutely.
And we welcome more for sure, because with more data, we can treat more precise conditions. We can find those needles in the haystack that will really help improve patient care. But when you have a coalition of the willing and people want to be there, you can really make things happen. And so that's pretty exciting.
That's fantastic. If people want more information, website, is that primarily where they go?
Following us on LinkedIn is the what I would say is the best way to do it. But our website is absolutely a great way to contact us. And
it has all the health systems listed, has the governance model listed.
We're completely transparent about it's a principle for ours that transparency creates trust. So every health system that's a member of Truveta, is there on the website. Our governance model is documented on our website, and we'd love to hear from any healthcare leader that would like to join us.
Fantastic. Terry, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Another great interview. I want to thank everybody who spent time with us at the conferences. It is phenomenal that you shared your wisdom and your experience with the community, and it is greatly appreciated. We also want to thank our channel sponsors who are investing in our mission to develop the next generation of health leaders: Gordian Dynamics, Quill Health, Tausight, Nuance, Canon Medical, and Current Health. Check them out at thisweekhealth.com/today. Thanks for listening. That's all for now.